millions of years of evolution shaped mammalian anatomy, including humans, under the selective pressures of survival. Early mammals, including human ancestors, were quadrupeds, relying on coordinated limb movement for locomotion, foraging, and predator evasion. The transition to bipedalism in hominids marked a pivotal shift, freeing the upper limbs for tool use and complex tasks. However, this evolutionary leap came at a cost. The musculoskeletal system, genetically programmed for quadrupedal mechanics, now operates in a bipedal framework disconnected from its original purpose. While modern humans no longer face survival-driven physical demands, our muscle structure remains virtually unchanged. This mismatch between evolutionary design and contemporary lifestyle has led to compensatory movement patterns, chronic injuries, and inefficient fitness practices, a gap the TSCFIT System and Gear aims to bridge. All terrestrial mammals share a homologous musculoskeletal framework optimized for weight distribution across 4 limbs. In humans, the upper body, anchored by the chest, back, and shoulder complex, evolved to function as a dynamic suspension system. For instance, the pectoralis major, a primary chest muscle, is intrinsically linked to the shoulder girdle. In quadrupeds, these muscles absorb impact during locomotion, stabilize the torso, and distribute force efficiently. Bipedalism reoriented this system, relegating the upper body to a secondary role in mobility. Over time, technological advancements like agriculture and industrialization further reduce reliance on full body strength, allowing muscles to atrophy or adapt to sedentary postures. Modern exercise science, however, has yet to fully address this disconnect. Conventional chest training methods, such as the bench press, which was first documented in the early 1900s, prioritize arm-driven movements like elbow flexion and extension over shoulder-driven mechanics. This approach contradicts the chest's evolutionary role as a stabilizer and force distributor. By isolating muscles in rigid machine-based exercises, traditional equipment immobilizes the shoulder complex, shifting load to smaller secondary muscles, such as the triceps and anterior deltoids, and increasing injury risk. The rise of industrialized fitness equipment in the 20th century codified movement patterns that neglect natural anatomy. For example, the flat bench press confines the shoulders to a fixed plane, forcing elbow flexion as the primary action. This mimics pushing motions in modern tasks like lifting objects, but fails to engage the chest's inherent role as a suspension muscle. Over time, these repetitive compensatory patterns lead to 1. Muscular imbalance, overdevelopment of arms and anterior deltoids, underactivation of the chest and scapular stabilizers. 2. Chronic injuries, rotator cuff strain, poor posture such as kyphosis, and joint degeneration from improper load distribution. 3. Inefficient growth-limited hypertrophy and strength gains due to reliance on smaller muscle groups. Developed by Kasper Jorgensen, the TSCFIT System Gear reimagines fitness by aligning exercise with humanity's quadrupedal blueprint. This innovative approach hinges on 2 breakthroughs. Traditional benches restrict shoulder movement, but TSCFIT's bench allows multi-directional floating of the shoulder girdle, replicating the natural suspension mechanics of quadrupedal locomotion. By enabling scapular protraction and retraction and rotational freedom, the chest becomes the primary force generator, not the elbows. Users initiate movement through shoulder-driven contractions, mirroring the push-off phase of crawling or climbing. TSCFIT emphasizes primary muscle activation sequencing, ensuring the largest muscle groups, like the chest and back, engage first during exercises. For example, a chest press begins with deliberate scapular movement to pre-activate the pectorals, followed by arm extension. This method mirrors the evolutionary role of the chest as a stabilizer and force distributor, not just a pushing muscle. To test TSCFIT's principles, consider a simple exercise: traditional bench press. Lying supine, the fixed bench immobilizes the scapula. Elbow flexion dominates with about 60% of the load borne by the triceps and anterior deltoids. The TSCFIT chest press features an adaptive bench that allows for scapular movement. Initiating the press through shoulder protraction engages the pectoralis major immediately, transferring about 80% of the load to the chest. This shift in mechanics reduces joint stress, enhances muscle fiber recruitment, and aligns with the body's innate biomechanics. The TSCFIT System Gear represents a paradigm shift in fitness, reconnecting human anatomy with its evolutionary roots. By replacing rigid, arm-centric exercises with dynamic, shoulder-driven movements, it addresses the inefficiencies and injuries perpetuated by modern equipment. As fitness science evolves, solutions like TSCFIT underscore the importance of designing regimens that honor the body's genetic legacy, proving that the future of physical training lies in understanding the past. Key contributions of TSCFIT: restores natural shoulder mobility and chest activation, minimizes injury risk through anatomically aligned mechanics, maximizes hypertrophy by engaging primary muscle groups, revives genetic muscle memory through quadrupedal simulation. This thesis posits that integrating evolutionary biology into fitness innovation is not merely advantageous, it is essential for sustainable health and performance.